You're gonna have to like make it so like the theme song melds into that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Are you ready?
So because of that song, that's how we started our first album. And so like it's
your
like,
first album.
Yes.
You got I was never part of.
Well, your brother was, so it's like you were like related to.
I was in a related band, and in sort of the way that Tommy Westfall brings the whole TV universe together, my brother helps bring the Chelmsford band universe together.
Right.
Yeah.
Was he ever in your band?
He wrote a song that I brought to my band, and then that we totally rewrote. But the
I feel bad for John.
well, it wasn't because of him. It was because our guitar player was a Zeppelin fan who needed to have. This was the initial guitar player. That song got rewritten 3 times, I think. So John and I wrote it together. I had a set of lyrics. My brother helped me write a guitar riff for it. I didn't know how to play guitar, so I think I went to band practice and I was like it could have been. It was like, I don't know. It was like, are you ready? No,
but like okay, that was Korn. We showed with very brief clip.
Yes, we should give attribution. Give give credit where credit is due.
If we're going to fair use it, we might as well tell you what it was.
It was Korn.
Yes, it was Korn, but then we did the same thing to start our first album.
Yeah.
Hot Pants.
And
so like, but this I'll play a little bit more from that point.
Yeah.
So we can listen to how much this rocks. This is Korn.
Would never have been able to tell that. All right.
So he's like, "Are you ready?" And then it rocks. But
it does, but what we missed, because fair use, is that before the show even started, before I hit record, we were listening, and it's like 30 or 40 seconds before he says, "Are you ready?"
Yeah, so we had to kind of get to that point so we could use a fair use amount of it.
A little clip of it. I just got to say, like, I got to make my dumb joke, which I said, like, what is the singer doing for that whole beginning? Now, like, it's a thing. I'll be fair, like, so. And I didn't see them on this tour, but Nine Inch Nails on one of the last tours they did, they started with a song called "Copy of A," and that has a.
Is that like a copy of some sort of Canadian?
Which Canadian would you like to copy? I don't know. Which Canadian would you copy if cloning were a thing today?
I mean, my favorite Canadians are always going to be Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis.
Mm-hmm. What about the Kids in the Hall? Where do they fall in your favorite Canadians?
I mean, they're probably right underneath the Bob and Doug McKenzies of the world.
Would you want to be underneath Bob and Doug McKenzie?
Not after they had lots of beer and back bacon.
Yeah, no. So
give me a smoke, eh?
Yeah, A. So "Copy of A" was the track that they started the Nine Inch Nails show with, I think the last time, and it has a sort of repetitive loop at the beginning of it, and then gradually
more things get added to it.
More people get added to it, and does it start? I can't remember if Trent comes out first. No, I don't know. And I think gradually each member of the band comes out, and I think, the lead singer comes out last. Although in that case, it might be that Trent started it. So this nullifies my point. For Korn, I just wonder if you had the one guitar player come out and start doing the first na, right? Na, and he's just sitting there and he's kind of bored on the edge of the stage. And then, gradually, on the other side of the stage comes out the other guitar player doing the da-na-na-na-na, and then, maybe the drummer comes out, starts fiddling with his sticks like drummers do. And the bass player, arrives at some point, and then you're still waiting for the singer, because the singer is doing what backstage? He's getting a Hummer, he's jerking off, it's something
some sort
sexual.
of all-terrain vehicle.
By the way, this is horribly off topic. Episode number 146. I'm Chris and he's Steve.
Is it? What? I don't even just get to say I'm Steve?
No, you sidetracked us from the very get-go with your Korn.
No, so we started the album, it was just it was just, "Are you ready?"
Yeah.
And then
was it that "Are you ready?" or did somebody?
No, it was one of us.
Do you remember which one?
I think it was Dan.
It was Dan. Okay. I feel like Dan could pull off the corn guy the best. Dan's actually got a pretty good voice. I think he's got the range to do like corn guy and like somebody with a decent voice.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the band or the New Sweethearts as a band, Dan and I were the two that could sing.
Yeah. Which is why you guys still do karaoke. You've still done karaoke.
Garen. Oof.
Nah, sorry, Garen.
Will didn't have a terrible voice,
right.
but like it wasn't like I don't think he wanted to sing really ever.
I had a pretty shitty voice.
Paul's wasn't bad either,
Yeah.
but I think Dan and I had the better voices out of everybody on the New Sweethearts.
My brother used to make fun of me for my voice, which is why I started trying to get better at singing. And so by the time I was in a band and they let me sing, and I was decent, it was a surprise to everybody, including me, because I'd been told that I couldn't sing, and I probably couldn't as a young man. But
all right, so here it is.
Oh,
Are you ready?
nice.
So that's how that like we go. Are you ready? And then it's like,
Hey, but that's it's your aesthetic. It's kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I heard a song.
A little bit of that.
I don't know if I brought it up on the show, but I heard a song that had that same musical.
Oh, it had the same sample? No.
No, well, I mean, we used like a Casio keyboard.
Okay, so
and
you
basically
you weren't...
we set like it wasn't the demo or anything, but we set some sort of thing up.
Yeah.
So it was like, and then we would push the fill button, it would go or whatever, and,
right.
or we actually did something to make that music. Besides just push one button, we had to push several buttons.
Several buttons. That's what makes the difference between the D team and the C team,
Right.
There or something. It's the difference between the losers and the winners.
But I heard a song
Or something.
that sounded just like it. Like I think it might have been on the radio or out and about, or I might have been at a bar or something like that. And I heard a song that sounded just like that, and I think I texted Dan about it, and I said, I just heard a song that sounded just like Hot Pants.
Yeah.
So they're ripping us off, and then I'm like, wait a minute. They're ripping off Casio Corporation.
Well, that was
like we did.
That was the thing. Oh gosh! All right, this is a trigger warning. I might talk about porn here in a second. I didn't mean to, but as I was recalling the memory, that was the funniest version of this that I could think of, which is that. So the first Pop Bubblegum Trash album was largely done with a program called Acid Music. Which is a Windows program, featured a whole bunch of loops that you could loop together, and it was like GarageBand is today, but it was a very, very sort of early version of the kind of thing that GarageBand
Land of the
is.
Loops.
Yes, Land of the Loops.
Did you ever listen? I'm sidetracking you. Did you ever listen to Land of the Loops?
No.
They were. I think they were originally from the greater Boston area, but then they moved to another place. But they basically just made like an album of samples of just a bunch of things.
And did they? Could you use those things if you wanted to, or was that like copyrighted up the?
I remember
wazoo?
like they threw some samples of Ranma in there. And, like,
interesting.
Some like I remember. Some clips from the Jerky Boys, just like in the middle, but not like recognizable ones.
Okay, I was gonna say
it would be like when like they called up, like one of the guys called up and was like, "Hey, I want to speak to something there, Jerky," and then the next line was the other person going, "1 moment, please," and that was the clip that they used.
Okay, in the middle of their
song, which was just a bunch
unquote.
of loops and clips and blah blah blah.
Interesting. Was this like a girl talk sort of thing? Was it officially released? Could you get it on CD or?
It was officially released.
Excuse
me. They had 2 albums, as far as I could remember. Because I have 2 of those. I point over there as if my CDs are still on that rack.
Yeah, you want 2 CDs?
No, we're not doing this.
No. So Girl Talk is a band that's out there that's pretty good, but they can't officially release their stuff because it's got so many samples. They could never possibly clear all the all the same. I mean, and certainly if you go far enough back in the history of hip hop and sampling, they didn't even try to clear the samples way back when. It got to a certain point, and I don't know what that point was. Beyond that point, now you had to make sure everybody was paid.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to, I think it was De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising, like that was like absurd amounts of samples.
Yeah.
And I remember there being like clips from not De La Soul, like Hall & Oates and some other shit, Michael Jackson's. There was just like one like I don't even think it was like an actual song. I think it was one of the intermediary tracks in between songs, and it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. That's what listening to all. I think it's All Day by Girl Talk is the one that I have.
It's a bummer too because like not like having something like that makes me want to know where it came from.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, unless your song is exactly the same as another song.
Yeah.
Like if you use like one clip like of a movie or one clip of some other fucking thing in your song, people are going to be like, "Where is that from?" I remember like Mr. Bungle songs. There's like clips of like an entire scene, I think, of Blue Velvet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just
in
the middle of a song. Like, I mean, it's not very like it's not in the forefront of the music, but
right?
It's in the background. But you could hear, I think Dennis Hopper is in that particular scene, and he's screaming about how warm beer makes him fucking puke.
No, fucking puke or fuck and puke?
Fucking puke.
Okay. Fuck and puke. That sounds messy.
Thankfully that's never happened to me in my life where I was having sex with somebody.
You were having sex that was so vigorous that you just ralphed.
I've never had sex with somebody and puked, and I've never had sex with somebody and had them vomit. So
okay, that's both very good things.
Yeah,
I think you can put you think you can put that on your resume.
That's a double bone. Yeah, I should. Gotta update it.
So the first Pop Bubblegum Trash album featured a lot of samples from this acid music program. And so going back to what you were saying about hearing another song that sounded just like, it was within the next couple of years, I heard other sort of low-key, not
Loki, like Thor's brother?
Like Thor's brother? No, Loki Lysmith? No, what the hell? Fuck. Is it Loki Lysmith? Is that his name? In
Simple Simon
in American Gods. Anyway, no. So
I have to watch this because like people at work keep on talking about it.
I read the book. I have not watched it. I've heard I should probably watch it as well.
My coworkers and my boss have been talking about it, and they have really good things to say about a lot of like the casting, the acting, et cetera. Yeah. But the slight like problems with like the way the direction and maybe some of the odd shots that are held for too long.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of literary adaptations. That and The Handmaid's Tale are both ones that I really want to watch, but who knows when I'll get to them.
Do you have Hulu?
I don't. Yeah. No.
Well, I guess you could come over here and we could have a viewing party.
Could.
Or you could I could give you like $10 and get Hulu for a month.
Hulu for a month. Yeah. So the most humiliating point at which
we could get somebody to donate to the show. Donate to the show so Chris can watch The Handmaid's Tale. And apparently not One Piece anymore because
they took it.
Hulu's dropping it. Like
fucking A.
So if you want to watch One Piece, the new subtitled episodes, you're gonna have to go to Crunchyroll. And I'm not giving an advertisement for Crunchyroll because I kind of don't like the way they do their ads.
You don't like their name?
No, it's fine.
It's a little ping pong.
Stop it. I don't like the way they set up their ads. They're often very loud and they're often the same ad. Oh. And so, okay. Say you're an advertiser.
All right. Sure. I got something to advertise.
You do? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
People will be like, I love advertisements.
But all I'm saying is that I can imagine that. I'm an advertiser. Go ahead.
Say you're an advertiser.
I am.
And people are going to be watching a show.
Okay.
Just say maybe one or many episodes of a show.
Sure.
How many times do you think they need to see an ad for your product or whatever it is you're trying to sell?
Let's say once per show, maybe even once per. Well, we're talking like a streaming service,
Yes.
right? Okay. So like once per session. Right, like if you're streaming,
I say maybe a little bit more than that. Like if you're doing a marathon.
well, yeah. I mean, if you like marathon for like 3 hours, like let's say once every 3 hours.
Yeah, so it might need to come back every once in a while.
Yeah,
to remind you, oh, that's that thing, and it's not. But
I'm also a shitty advertiser, Steve. So maybe nobody should take my advice.
But here it is, like they have one ad and they play it several times every commercial break.
That's why I stopped watching Hulu at all. Like
well, Hulu at least shows different ads during the breaks,
right? And I know that you can pay extra for. Don't at me. Well, actually, at me. I would love to hear from you. It's an expression that I hear on other podcasts. They're like, "Don't at me." I know that you can buy the version of Hulu that doesn't have ads, but the reason I stopped watching Hulu was because I saw the same anti-smoking ad on every commercial break of like various comedies my wife and I were trying to watch. And so we watch and we laughing, and then
what, Big Bang Theory?
I don't know what it was.
No, I'm just kidding, because that show's not funny at all.
But we'd be watching something and then laughing. It'd be the same ad about a woman interviewed shortly before she died of emphysema or some
and you're
lung
like
disease.
You're like, I get, like you're preaching to the choir here. Neither of us smoke.
Right.
Stop showing this fucking ad.
Yeah. It's absurd. Anyway, so yes.
So they basically just show the same ads over and over and over and over and over again, and to the point that we just don't want whatever product it is.
Right. Yeah. And that's part of where I suck as an advertiser, which we can come back to later, is that I don't want to annoy people, and I don't know the right. It's why I have a hard time promoting the podcast, why I have a hard time promoting my books. I don't know what the balance is between letting people know who want to know and reminding them, and when you cross that line to just aggravating them. I don't know where that line is. I tend to stay so far on the side of not annoying them that they don't even know that I have something to promote.
God damn it, Chris. Okay, so let's bring up like that email you sent me earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I do want to come back to my dumb story, but yes.
We do. But like, remember that? Not the one from Leo. We can talk about that one too. But
yeah, fuck, I forgot about that.
Snakes.
Yeah. No, but I sent you because we keep getting these emails from, and I'm gonna get to the actual service so I don't get it wrong.
I'll get the email popped up as well, so I'm not.
Oh, I thought I archived it, but apparently I must have just deleted it.
You got new comments on your podcast, Podbean.
And I don't know if we talked about this on the show before, but we've gotten a couple messages from Podbean, I think probably trying to get us to come over and use their service in some way. And each time it's a comment from the same person who seems to not like us, Steve.
All right, so I take exception to what the guy's saying this time.
Okay,
like the first time,
last time I forget, I can't remember what he said.
But it was something like they're libtards or blah 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 blah
something
blah,
like that.
Which guilty is
charged.
But this time he said, tried listening again, but the phrase "they're Nazis and we punch Nazis" tells me they're dangerously stupid. Now. If you recall from that conversation that we had, and like if this guy does actually listen,
send us an email, man.
Yeah, send us an actual email. Don't post on Podbean or whatever the fuck this is.
Or non-gendered individual.
Yeah, I mean it's not like we don't promote the fucking email of the show. If you want to interact with us, fucking you can do it. But
hot at clarkwoods.com.
Yeah, hot at clarkwoods.com.
In case you don't want to listen to any more of the show.
Yeah, or stop listening. Why don't
stop listening right now,
do that, idiot. But. In that conversation...
We punch Nazis!
No. Stop it. Don't prove him right, you fucker. So yeah, during that time, I forget what the fucking guy's name. Do you remember the guy? The Nazi
Richard something.
Richard Spencer?
Maybe?
That's a guess.
That's sure. Richard Harris.
So he got punched.
Richard Dreyfuss.
No.
Hey, you keep interrupting my story. I'm gonna just fucking around.
So yeah, he he got punched. This Nazi got punched in the head.
Yeah,
and
which is the wrong place to punch a Nazi. You punch him in the nuts. I know that most Nazis don't have very big nuts or very big dicks.
Wait. Hold on. How do you know about Nazi nuts or dick size?
Come on. It's pretty obvious.
You don't hate Jews if you have huge testicles.
No. Yeah. You hate Jews if you're I don't know, because you're stupid and you have small dicks and balls.
He might have a fantastic pecker, but he might still just hate Jews.
He might. Yeah. I don't want to just normalize big dicked, small dicked people.
Yes.
You know, not everybody who has a small dick is an asshole.
Right.
We're evidence of that.
Damn you. You've never seen my dick.
That you know of. No. There was that time you accidentally texted me the dick pic, and,
No.
All right. So anyway, this person that is writing on Podbean. He got punched,
and what I said in response to that happening, it's like, I personally would never do that.
You would never punch a Nazi.
I would never punch a Nazi because
you're not Captain
I am
America.
not going to go to jail or get charged with assault.
Right.
Because of my anger.
Because Sharon Carter might shoot you when you're coming out of the steps of the courthouse.
No. Asshole. I'm not gonna stoop to that level and then get in trouble for doing something that, people that, including myself, would consider right.
Okay.
So I am not the kind of person that would punch a Nazi, despite wanting to. I am going to restrain myself, and I'm going to punch a Nazi, not with my fists, but with my words, and tell them that they're the worst pieces of shit.
I'm going to punch a Nazi with my brain.
Yeah. Which I just saw a brain hitting some Nazi in the face. If you guys want to do Photoshops or some sort of make a GIF of like the middle of Ego's planet slamming into a Nazi.
Slamming into a Nazi. Yeah. Red Skull.
Yeah, Red Skull.
Red Skull. A brain slamming into a skull in the middle of space. He did go up to space at the end of that fucking movie.
Okay, but what I did say was, despite not wanting to do it and thinking that it's not necessarily a great idea for people to do, I do take particular glee in seeing it happen.
Slight difference.
Yes.
Very slight. You're not saying that
I'm not saying I endorse that sort of behavior.
Right.
But when it does happen, I'm going to enjoy it.
Okay. I endorse that sort of behavior. Go ahead and punch all the Nazis.
God damn it.
He can be mad at me.
Sure.
Come on.
Get mad at Chris.
Get mad at me. I endorse the punching of Nazis. Punching them since 1944 or 1941. Not early enough. Punching them since not early enough.
I mean, Captain America did it.
If we'd punched more Nazis earlier, just saying.
Not
fucking sleeping. Our country slept on those fucking Nazis. We just fucking punched them. If we should have all been like fucking Ben Affleck in Pearl Harbor, like all gone over to Britain and tried to fight before they bombed the shit out of us. I mean, before the Japanese bombed the shit out of us.
We're getting
fighting.
We're gonna get a lot of email. Well, we're gonna get at least one email about how we're dumb about history again.
About bringing up Ben Affleck, sure, but we didn't get into
Ben
the
Affleck
war.
was not in World War II.
He was in World War II. I saw the movie, Steve, and if I saw
Ben
Affleck
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
He has a weird Ben Affleck to his voice.
Ben Affleck and Josh Hartnett. Yeah, they fought.
They're
over
only
the same,
like
they fought over the same.
They're
girl.
only slightly older than us.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah.
Josh might be less slightly. I think that with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, he's probably around our age.
He's probably around our age. He's a little younger than Mr. Affleck. So my band had these samples.
What?
We keep getting away from the end of this goddamn story. I used these samples from this band Acid Pro. I kept hearing them from weird, obscure
what the
little.
Fuck is Acid Pro?
Acid Pro, Acid Music. That was the name
fucking
of the
with you.
Oh. Almost tipped my microphone over. So the most humiliating place that I spotted a song that sounded exactly like one of my songs was in a porno that I watched in the years after I made my first album.
Do you remember what the porno was?
I don't remember what the porno was, but I remember hearing in the background the exact same. And the thing is you could take samples from different libraries. Like, so you could take the dance library samples and layer them with like the rock library drums, and that's often what I did. That's how I ended up with the sound.
So this was an early aughts porno then, maybe.
Yeah, it was like an early aughts porno, and they had the same idea. They're like, let's use the little dance beat and this guitar from over here and this sort of weird keyboard thing.
So you missed your calling.
I missed my calling. I should have been making porn music.
Yeah, you could have done it.
Could have done it.
You should have just talked to some producer and been like, "Hey, I know you guys don't pay well or anything, even to your the girls getting like a little bukkake on their face."
Yeah. They should pay extra for that, like hazard pay for bukkake, I think.
Yeah, because you could go.
I get the sense that when you like sign up for stuff, like I mean, when you're a performer first starting out, you're probably checking off every damn box. You'll do everything because you just want to book as many gigs as possible. But I do get the sense like maybe you get to negotiate as you get more popular. That like you want me to do bukkake, I gotta.
No, but I mean, extra. Maybe back in 2000, but like now,
but not now.
Nowadays, when
that movie that Rashida Jones put together kind of put the reality of the situation these days into me.
Yeah, and it's disappointing.
Yeah,
to say the least.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, let's bring everything down.
Yeah,
porn actors aren't treated well.
No, well,
who would have thunk it?
Yeah, lots of actors aren't treated well. Porn actors, especially.
Well, I mean, if you're acting in theater or acting in whatever else, you're probably not raking in the bucks, so you're not treated particularly
well. Artists just in general, because all art should be free.
What?
People want to listen to their music for free. They want to watch all their movies and videos free. They want their books for free.
Right. Nothing should be paid for.
Nothing should be paid for. Art
you guys get this for free, and look what you get when you pay. You get what you pay for. Blah 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 blah
blah. Anyway, so there's like a bunch of like anecdotes on our list for this week because we
didn't touch on any. That
we didn't touch on any of them, but I mean they're all there because we didn't necessarily want to talk about Sean Spicer and the Bushes.
Yeah, I mean, if it's weird,
we very carefully avoided going political for a few weeks now.
Yeah, I mean, just so
Nick, you kind of snuck some stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, just like subtly,
right? Well,
maybe not so subtly, but just in there, and then we kind of move on,
right?
But it's Comey getting fired. I mean, the dude fucked up the election for us.
Yeah.
Like for everybody, for America,
right,
dude, you fucked things up.
Yes,
and I have no love lost for this guy, but now that he's trying to do the right thing, he gets fired.
Right. Yeah. Well, and should he be fired by the person that he's investigating?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that's ethically.
No.
But who cares about ethics now? We don't have ethics anymore.
Nobody cares. And of course, what's always with this administration, it's about like one thing hiding another thing. That same day or like the day before, the chair, the person in charge of the census was fired. And of course, so I'm a genealogy buff. So like that's where I'm interested in the census. But where the census has real implications in the present is that the census is what helps determine districting and shit like that, and where people go to vote, and also, and so like him being able to fire and now replace with whoever he wants the director of the Census Bureau is going to enable them to is it gerrymandering? I'm gonna get all the
gerrymandering is already a problem.
But they're really going to be able to be like and
all right, so
the thing that occurred to me, this is how a really dumb thing. So my great grandparents, Polish immigrants living on the end of a street in Malden in 1920, right? And I've been frustrated for years that I can't find my great-grandparents on the census. The census taker just stopped across the street. And there's at least one house, my great-grandparents' house, but maybe several houses that he didn't enumerate. And that's what made me sort of understand how this sort of thing could be used if you've got the Census Bureau person saying, if you get to a traditionally black neighborhood and there ain't nobody around, well, of course you don't do it the same way. It's not door to door anymore. It's more most people just fill out their forms, but the same sort of thing that means that.
But there's no one to process those forms in an office,
right?
Or if they're like they have like if they have a Jackson or a Washington after their name, then we might throw all those people into the fucking.
Yeah, anyway. So the point being that like the Comey thing was huge. And then they sort of sneak this other shit in there. And the Comey thing is huge, and it's very
Everything is huge. Everything that they do is wrong, is huge, but they do it all in fucking, like, once. So they overwhelm us, and so we don't know what to fucking be outraged about when we should be outraged about everything. But it's hard to be outraged about everything because your body can't fucking do it.
Yeah. So Sean Spicer in the bushes. I found this article from Business Insider that kind of explained it, because I mentioned Sean Spicer in the bushes and you mentioned that you kind of weren't aware of exactly what went down. Here's how they describe it. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer huddled behind bushes on the White House grounds for several minutes on Tuesday evening as staffers sought to respond to the frenzy of media questions about President Donald Trump's abrupt firing of FBI Director James Comey, according to the Washington Post. Spicer wanted to return to his office after an interview with Fox Business, but couldn't do so without running into a throng of reporters on his way there, the Post reported. He emerged from the bushes after a press office executive assistant, Janet Montesi, said he would answer reporters' questions so long as they didn't film him, according to the Post. Just turn the lights off, Spicer told the reporters. We'll take care of this. Can you just turn that light off?
Is that it?
No, it goes on. But I wanted to pause there in case you needed to comment.
No, I mean...
All right. Spicer, White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway, and Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders were all on White House grounds on Tuesday amid a firestorm of questions from the media and criticisms from Democrats and Republicans alike. According to the Post, Spicer spoke with reporters for about 10 minutes, standing in the dark between two hedges as he answered and dodged questions about Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein's role in the probe into Comey, the timing of Comey's firing, and grand jury subpoenas reportedly issued in an investigation involving Michael Flynn, the former national security advisor. I got something to say about grand jury subpoenas. Spicer will get a respite from the media's Comey questions as Sanders is expected to fill in for him during the daily press briefings for the remainder of the week. Grand jury testimony or grand jury subpoenas.
I'm letting you do it. I'm letting you run with it. You yelled at me earlier.
I was on a grand jury for 6 months a few years ago, New Hampshire grand jury. And when you, as a grand jury, get a grand jury subpoena, generally speaking, and I think I'm probably still bound not to talk about the particulars of any of this, but
well, don't talk about.
I'm not going to. No, but I think I can say, generally speaking, the way I would characterize those is that they were open and shut, as with almost every case we heard.
I mean, you don't bring something to the grand jury if you don't think you have a case.
Because you've got, I mean, first of all, I mean, they didn't pay us a ton, but you got to pay us. You got to get all these people. You only have all these people in the room for 2 days a month. You bring it, it's open and shut, and so basically grand jury is just, in New Hampshire at least, is just a rubber stamp to bring something to trial. Doesn't say the person's guilty, it's just, is there enough evidence to go to trial? Or in the case of a subpoena, is there enough evidence to warrant this subpoena? And so, at least in New Hampshire, I can say that those people do their fucking jobs, and when that stuff came to our room 2 days a month, we always listened and listened through some pretty horrific shit sometimes, but it was almost always very open and shut. So if they've got grand jury subpoenas, which it sounded like they did, there's some fucking smoke.
I mean, you could probably get a regular judge to issue a subpoena in maybe a case where you don't have as much evidence, and this is my extensive law knowledge.
Oh yeah.
But for a grand jury. You might need a little bit more.
A little bit more.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
So Spicer in the bushes. Apparently, Melissa McCarthy. We're recording this on a Saturday because tomorrow's Mother's Day. Melissa McCarthy tonight. The other day, she's hosting SNL tonight, but the other day she was spotted on basically a Segway that looked like Sean Spicer's podium going through the streets in New York City, dressed up as Sean Spicer. So I look forward to hearing about. I don't ever stay up to watch SNL, but I look forward to hearing about exactly what she's going to do tonight.
What I'm thinking needs to happen is we need to have a split. We
split?
need to actually we need to be like, okay, you got it. You got us fucking Civil War. We shouldn't have fought. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we should have because it did grant freedom to a group
to a lot of people.
Yeah. So never mind. Forget. I said that initially.
Yeah.
But now that those people are in fact free.
Yes.
Let's fucking enough of you. Just Mason Dixon line below. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm done with you. Eat shit. We don't need you anymore. What do you fucking do? What do you do for the country?
Nothing.
Exactly. Besides screw up the fucking election, you fucking cunts. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with you fucks. Fucking Northeast California or West Coast. Northeast, West Coast.
Yeah.
Except
we got to negotiate with.
We can fly over Canada.
We got to negotiate with Jesus Land to get through them.
No, we can fly over. We can go through Canada. Okay. We could just. I think it would be easier.
Maybe we should
go to another country.
Maybe
than
we
drive
should
through that piece of shit land.
Petition Canada to take us. Take the Northeast.
I
and
thought
take
of
the
that
West
before
Coast.
the goddamn election, or as possible. What if Trump gets elected? Can we become part of Canada?
I mean that Canadian president, or prime minister, he's a bit of a hunk. I think a lot of people wouldn't mind being taken by him, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Just saying.
I'm guessing you are one of them.
I probably not. I don't know.
I mean, I think we could
Depends on how he wants to take
I
him.
think we could get most of New England to be like, okay,
Sure.
parts of Maine maybe not so much.
Yeah.
and
There's one district of Maine that would be kind of pissed
New
off.
Hampshire's a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, us.
But see,
us massholes have infiltrated New Hampshire to the point where they're becoming more.
We
blue.
libtards. What we need to do is we need to do what the English did to my Acadian relatives up there in Nova Scotia back in the day. We just expel all the shitheads down south. So back in the day, my English relatives went up and kicked my French relatives out of Acadia, and then rechristened it Nova Scotia. They let them back in eventually. But we just got to do that. Take all the conservatives out of New Hampshire, out of not all of them. Some of them are sane. I don't know, but just basically give them the option. You know what? You want to continue to worship President Hitler? You know what? Go on down south.
I mean, I get the not wanting to pay taxes shit. I get it.
Sure.
But the thing is, I mean, I'm middle class.
Yeah.
I am in the middle class, and I think as far as the amount that I actually pay as percentage wise of what I make, is probably more percentage wise than people in the top X percents,
Right?
Because I don't have a fucking voice. Mm-hmm. No one gives a shit about how much I pay in taxes.
No,
they give a shit about how much poor people pay in taxes,
right?
Which is next to nothing, actually.
Yeah. And they give a shit about how much the rich,
the ultra wealthy pay in taxes.
Right.
And so, I mean, these people are the job creators. And I take Dolores Umbridge with that.
Do you now?
Yes.
Him.
Ugh, I hate her. She's such a bitch. Fucking, you know what? If you tax the middle class, both. I mean, I'm probably right in the middle of the middle class.
Sure.
I don't think I'm in upper or lower.
Right in the middle.
I'm probably right in the middle of the middle class. I am like the
you
middle.
You are Malcolm in the middle of the class.
Yes. If you release some of my tax burden, and the people making slightly more and slightly less than me,
right?
Maybe, just maybe, we could start our own businesses and compete with these giant corporations.
Maybe.
And you tax them the same or more, and then maybe there's a level playing field, and we have an actual fucking what the fuck, capitalism. We have capitalism that actually works. We have competition. Instead of just capitalism, blah, 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 gobble it all up. The reason why we made monopoly laws is so that
that guy and his fucking dog and his hat, they couldn't win
take
the game.
over everything.
Yeah.
And the reason why people hate playing Monopoly, and I've said this so many times before, is because it sucks to lose at that game. And if you
we're already losing at that game.
And if you think of that game
every
as
day.
real life, we are all fucking losing, and there's a lot of people that are winning.
We're all.
Oh no, actually, a very select few that are winning.
You can only fit so many tokens on Park Place.
Right. I mean, if you land on Park Place, if they've got a fucking hotel,
see ya.
Done.
Wouldn't want to be ya.
Boardwalk, even less so.
Yeah. No, it's a bad scene. Of course, why would anybody want to live in Atlantic City? Fucking Bruce Springsteen.
Or, well, no, I don't even think Bruce would want to live there. But I know one fucking orange idiot that
that loves it. Oh my God! I got to hear one of my students, my graduating senior students, read a deliciously terrible poem, a very good poem, but full of terrible imagery of the orange idiot and his crusty orange cock. That was actually a line in her poem. It was fantastic, and I got to hear that the other day because my babies they're graduating. It's very sad.
You've infected them with your seed.
I've infected them with my libtardism.
Yeah, you gave them an extra carrying chromosome.
I did. They might have given it to me too. It's I mean, come on, like coming from the family that I come from the sort of the background that I came from. I mean, I went to college and I was even through college, and I met a wider variety of people, but I was still not all that open-minded. And I went to grad school, and I met a wider variety of people, and I got more open-minded. And then I started teaching a wide variety of people, and that's when I feel like I really found where I was,
and plus,
where I was on the sort of political and moral spectrum.
No, but the thing is, like, if the reason why, like, I mean, conservatives complain all the time about how there's a liberal bias in our education system,
right?
Well, then do the job.
Sure.
Guys.
The job pays shit.
The job that pays shit, that is really hard and is basically sculpting the minds of the next generation.
Yeah.
You might want to get in on this if you really are that concerned about how it's fucking turning our kids out.
Yeah.
But no, won't make enough money.
No.
So then it's your own damn fault.
Maybe pay teachers better.
Yeah, pay teachers better so you can get fucking, more conservatives to actually do the job because they don't want to fucking do it. So a bunch of like bleeding hearts, and this is fucking in the nicest possible way, that fucking care about other people and want them to be fucking smart.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. I feel like it's very hard.
SMRT. SMRAT.
Maybe we should talk about something else.
Okay. See, that's what happens when bodies start slapping from doing the wild thing.
There's a bunch of stuff on here. So we got about 18 minutes left. I'm wondering if I should like throw out all of the... What's that?
On the nose?
On the nose. No, like 17 minutes.
Please remind me every minute how many minutes.
Every minute. Should I run down the list of possible stories and then...
No, I want you to pick one.
You want me to pick one? Well, so...
I'm giving you...
carte blanche.
Yes, I'm giving you the white card.
You're giving me the white card. Why is it? That's a little racist. It's a little ping pong, carte blanche.
Stop saying ping pong.
It's a thing. It's a thing that I stole from a show that I love. I don't love it as much anymore.
Is that the Roderick on the line?
No. Well, I guess it did start with Roderick. I still like Roderick. They have no ability to keep a regular schedule. Back to Work.
Unlike us, we release this every week.
Every week. Back to Work is the one that I fell in love with first. It's the one that got me interested in podcasts beyond just the NPR,
a lot of burps.
Beyond the NPR ones, and I'm not as big a fan of it anymore. I really love Merlin. The other guy on it, Dan, is not. I don't know. Dan's been bugging me lately. Anyway, but I think ping pong did start on Roderick on the Line. It's a thing Merlin brings to his various podcasts.
Oh, I just need to tell everybody at least about the misadventures of Miles Lightfoot. Miles Lightfoot.
Oh, ooh.
Miles Lightfoot and his cohorts.
Yeah.
I tried to snatch away some hag's gem, and I failed.
Ooh. Is that a
Tune
euphemism?
in next time.
Is that a euphemism?
No.
A hag's gem? Miles Lightfoot?
What do you think the gem is? What is it, her clit?
Yeah. I mean,
No, I didn't try to snatch her clit away.
Yeah.
I didn't try to rip off a part of her body.
You didn't try
I
to
tried to
snatch-
get something that was a physical object that she was wearing
Right.
off of her.
Off of her. Okay. You didn't try to snatch her snatch.
No.
I wish I didn't drink on the show. I would. Some of the things that I regret saying, I think I can directly attribute to Austin Eats Cider's
drank one
original
goddamn-
dry. I'm not even done yet. All right. So
This is my third, you asshole. I opened the first one before the show.
you have a higher tolerance for this stuff than I do. Just takes a little bit to get me all belligerent and less libtardy.
Stop.
I put out a book this week. I should talk
did?
about that. Because I'm sucky at advertising, I should mention that I relaunched the website. So if you haven't been to the website, clarkwiz.com/hot is our website, but clarkwiz.com, slash or not slash.
Or just clarkwoods.com.
Just clarkwiz.com. That's the rest of the website.
HTTP. Only one P.
HTTPS://
Oh, it's a secure site.
Yeah, if you put in the regular, it'll add the S.
Oh, wow.
It'll add the S.
So you don't have to worry about any sort of nonsense on
No
your
nonsense.
site. There is an S there.
But I've been reading a lot about how people build their audiences and their mailing list in particular, because mailing list is important. Mailing list you can take with you as opposed to Facebook or Twitter or any of these things. You always have control over the emails that you have permission to email. So I've been trying to build a mailing list, and one of the suggestions from a lot of author-y folks out there is
give the address for your mailing list out on your podcast.
That's not the. But no, their suggestion is like if you want people to join your mailing list, you got to give them something for free, entice them.
Like a podcast.
No, even more than that. If you're an author, you got to give them a book. So
a free book.
That
was really loud. I'm sorry.
That was very loud. So I put out. It didn't even spike that much.
Wow,
though.
that was loud though. People are gonna probably be like, Steve, why?
So I put together a collection of 14 things from my site over the last couple of years. I put it into this book, and I launched it along with the website, and I'm pretty proud of it. I think people should download it. Clarkwiz.com will get you there, and even like the bottom of every damn page has a get a free book now. That's the only ad on the site, and it's an ad for me. So
for me, it's
get a
an
free
ad.
book for me. So I don't know. There's not much more to that story, but I think you should get it. You should join my mailing list and get my free book because I think it's a good book. But here's the other angle on this that I was thinking about before the show, which ties into our show and lots of things I'm thinking about, and it's statistics.
Stats.
Stats.
We should get Yako to work on our stats.
So I sent this out there. I spent some money on a Twitter ad, on a Facebook ad.
Oh, you did?
I did, not a lot. And I had some free credits for the Twitter ad, so I really didn't spend that much on that. And I promoted it out at the wazoo for like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I got a lot of likes. I got a lot of people saying I'm going to download it tonight. I'm going to download it later. And the stats say otherwise. And this is the thing and that's fine. But it's very easy to become obsessed with stats. And I have been, right? So I've been judging a lot of the success of this endeavor on how many downloads. So how many people subscribe to the mailing list? That's the first thing, because when you subscribe to the mailing list, you get a link to go download the book. So I've got those stats, how many people subscribe to the mailing list. And then over here, I've got the other stats, which are how many people actually downloaded the book. And both of those stats are not great. And so you sort of sit there and you get obsessed with the numbers, right? To the point where you don't think about, and I get obsessed with the numbers about this show sometimes, but the numbers only take you so far, right? And I think when you focus on the numbers, which is increasingly easy to do in the web world, right?
You know, it would be better if every time I went to a bar, I would remember to bring some of those fucking coasters. I might be helping.
I have the coasters, but I generally have the coasters in my bag when I'm teaching, and that's not exactly the place.
You should just leave them out on the fucking desk for the students.
Hey, everybody,
put your beverage down on this.
Down.
Horribly off topic. What is this shit? What?
Yeah. So like. But
Professor Chris, you're in a podcast.
You're in a podcast. Somebody did it. I was out to drinks after the senior readings the other night with a student of mine.
Do they call you prof? What do they call you?
They call me Clark.
Mr. Clark?
No, they call me just Clark.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but you know. So anyway, what were we talking? Oh, actually, she asked me where is your podcast, and I said, it's right on the site.
It's on iTunes. It's on
iTunes. It's
everywhere.
It's everywhere. But now it's even more prominent on the front page of the site. I showed you the hot page before the show. But
it was a hot page.
It was a hot page. But on the front page of the site now, there's kind of a big splash banner, and then there's the most recent writing. But then right underneath that, there's a column for my books and a column for my podcast. So right on the front page of clarkwoods.com now, there's also a section on podcasts as opposed to just I know. I should say our podcast, but it's not our books. I was going for uniformity.
You could say your books, our podcast.
Your books. I could say your book.
Do you want me to write a book?
You're gonna help me publish it? You know what? I would love to read a book by Dr. Steve.
I'm going to write a book.
What is that book going to be called, Steve?
Hold on. What is this? This person tweeted me, and
I know you mentioned this. It's a good.
I won't.
Segment.
I won't say the person's name because they did not consent, so
okay.
I won't.
Well, but it's Twitter, unless they have a public.
No, but they didn't put a period before the @ mention.
Okay,
so that means only I can see it. I think.
Well, it's public if somebody wanted to.
Yeah, if they were searching for it.
If they have a little lock on their name and it means that they're only sending out private tweets, then I feel like you shouldn't mention things. But
no, but I mean, I still like.
All right.
If they put a period before it,
you would feel better. Okay,
I would feel better about it. So I'm just going. I'm going
just read the tweet.
They said, "Did you write, quote, why is the 4th of July?" End quote.
No question mark.
No, but like the it is a question. But that's like, did you write? I'm assuming she asked me if I wrote the book. Why is the 4th of July?
Did you write that book, Steve?
I don't know if that book exists.
I don't know.
And if so, no.
I wrote a book. My book's called Out of the Woods. I should have mentioned that. I didn't.
Yeah, how about that?
Out of the Woods. This is a book. Now, let me ask you this right here on the show, Steve. So people can get, I got to get your honest opinion about this. People can get my book for free by going to my website and signing up for my mailing list. Right now, if you went to like Amazon or the iBook store, you could not get my book. Do you think that's the right decision? Starting to slur.
Right decision.
Right decision. Because
can you put it on those things?
You can put it on iBooks and also make it free, but you cannot put it on the Kindle store and make it free unless you make it exclusive to the Kindle store, and that includes taking it off my website. Amazon will only let you make it free if you have it exclusive to Amazon.
Okay, so can you put it on iTunes? Though?
I could put it on the iBook store. I could put it on the iBook store for free.
Okay, so maybe you do that and you don't do it.
And the reason I ask you this, so I went
because Amazon's being a dink and asking for too much.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have iDevices.
They do, yeah. But a lot of people, even people with iDevices, use Kindle because they already use Amazon
or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you
even though iBooks you can produce way nicer looking iBooks.
I'm going to do a rewind.
Okay.
And talk about the crazy shit that's happening right now.
Okay.
Now,
I try to get us away from the political.
No, but I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
So there's so much crazy shit that's happening right now that you may say, like, or like you saw in the metrics or whatever, that like people were going to say they were going to download the book or they subscribe to the mailing list or whatever else.
Right. Which I should say, it sounds like I'm being an ingrate. I feel like people say that and they will eventually do it. But that goes back to my whole thing about how often do I remind anybody without being an asshole?
So,
anyway.
but the thing is that there's so much crazy shit going on. So, maybe wait a week,
Right.
and just say, hey, don't forget to download the book or whatever.
Right.
But just don't do it too often. But don't do it too infrequently that people forget.
Yeah.
But because there's
a lot of crazy shit.
There's
happening.
a dumb shithead that is our fucking
our editor in chief,
ruler of the free world, not. That fucking decides everything basically that whenever there's a crazy thing that happens, he needs to release 3 more crazy things to distract from that first crazy thing. And so, therefore,
then each
your
of those
book
crazy
gets lost in the fucking shuffle, Chris.
Each of those crazy things then needs 3 of its own crazy things.
It's exponential crazy things.
It's exponential crazy things. It's like the Tommy Westfall universe.
The Tommy Wiseau universe.
Tommy Wiseau universe.
Donald Trump, you're tearing me apart!
So, anywho, all right, we only have a few minutes left. There were 4 other things on the list. Some of them we're just gonna have to wait for next time. There's one that's been on here for a while.
What is it?
It's from Easter. I think this is quick. So
talk about Easter, Chris. We can go a little bit over.
Yeah, well, so
we're recording early, so we have plenty of time.
I don't know if I can make it funny anymore, but so on Easter, and we talked about my Easter video, and I think that week we recorded on Saturday. So then I went and had my Easter and made my Easter video, and then the next week we didn't really talk about it that much because we had other stuff to talk about. But one of the funniest things towards the end of Easter was I have the iPhone 7 Plus, and I had managed to take a couple of really good shots of the kids that day.
Why don't you have an iPhone 8 yet?
I don't have an iPhone 8 yet because
I don't have an
iPhone 8 yet because they don't make them, Steve.
My mistake. Continue.
So I'd been my family, my relatives had seen that I had taken some good pictures, and so my cousin, she asked me because I'd also taken a picture at Christmas time of 4/5 of her family. One of the kids wasn't there. So she's like, can you take a picture of us before we get going? And I say, sure. It's getting to be about magic hour. That magic time towards sunset.
Right, when you're shuffling your deck. So you can draw 7 cards.
Yes. And get your red mana.
Yeah.
If you're me. I always had a red deck.
I played I was also I did
like
mono red. I'm gonna bump it. Let's bump
it.
We just bumped it from mono red decks.
Mono red day.
Decks.
Not
it is also day. Mono red
day.
Today, what is today? The 13th.
I don't know.
May 13th is mono red day.
Mono red day, which would be a good title if
those of you in the Magic the Gathering community, you can get this.
Would have been a good title if you hadn't already said whatever it was.
Dolores,
I take Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the one. I tried one earlier that you didn't respond to.
There was.
Sometimes you take a little swing.
There was another one. I wonder if it was the same one that I was like, oh, that's pretty good, and I must have just been distracted. Anyway, mono red day. So my cousin asked me to take a picture.
I was a little like mealy mouthed with the first one.
With the other one. Okay.
So that's probably why it didn't register.
Didn't nail it.
No, but Dolores, I take Dolores.
I take Dolores Umbridge. Okay. So my cousin asked me to take a picture, and it's getting to be magic hour, which is the magical time of day when the light is perfect. It's just before the sun goes down. A lot of Hollywood types try to use that in their films. So I'm taking a picture. I take 3 or 4 really good ones, and I show it to my cousin. This is I guess it's important. It's a female cousin. She does not like the angle on her at all. I don't see it. I don't see what's wrong with it at all, but she looks at it and she's like, these are heinous. You cannot.
That's just like me with any picture that anybody ever takes of me.
So she gets the whole family back. Her kids are kind of exhausted. It's the end of Easter. They've hunted the eggs. They've eaten all the candy. They're ready to pass out. But she wants this picture, God damn it. And so she goes around to the other side of the composition, so the other side of the kids and her husband. And so I start taking the pictures again, and I show her the results, and she finds one that she likes, and she's like, oh, this one is awesome, but look at his nipples.
Whose nipples?
Her husband's nipples. Just one, actually.
Did he have his shirt off?
Just one nipple. No, he had a green shirt on, green collared shirt. But I guess it was getting to be a little bit cold. And so, his fellas were standing erect.
Could you
call them his fellas, his nipples? Or are those his fellas?
No, his fellas are his balls.
His fellas are his balls. Okay, so what are his nipples?
I mean, if it was the Nazis, they would be really small, apparently.
So he's got one nipple standing out, and she asks me, she's like, do you think, you could like go into Photoshop and soften the nipple? Her exact words. Could you go in and soften my husband's nipple? And I've been saving this story for lots of things.
You did not tell me this one before.
No, lots of things I just cross off the list. I'm like, that was a funny story for that week, but it's not that funny. I left this one on there because I was like, soften the nipple is too fucking funny. I need to get that. So I went upstairs.
It's not often you say something funny, Chris.
Oh, I know. I got to save it. So I went upstairs because I couldn't get it to work exactly on Pixelmator on my phone. I don't have Photoshop. Fuck Adobe. So I went into Pixelmator and I softened the nipple and I sent it right off to her and she said, perfect. It was great. Nipple was gone. I took his nipple off. Like Rocky Raccoon.
Rocky Raccoon.
Slipped into the room only to find Gideon's Bible.
What?
It's a Beatles song. And then somebody slipped. Oh, wait. No, fuck. His nipple doesn't get sliced off. It's fucking Fee. Fee, from the Grateful Dead Light. Whatever that band is.
I did that thing that dogs do when they can't understand what someone's saying. I tilted my head.
Tilted your head. No, Fee. It's by one of those jam bands, and it's the only song of theirs that I like. Fish, yes. Fee. Somebody slices off the weasel's nipple.
What weasel?
I think there's a weasel in the song, and he gets his nipple sliced off. I did that to my cousin's husband.
Weasel, piece of pizza, got a weasel. It's a piece of mud pizza. Yeah.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwins.com/hot/146. If you'd like to comment on anything, including whose nipples got sliced off, Rocky Raccoons or Fee, you can send that email to hot@clarkwins.com. And if you would like to reach us on Twitter, I am at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser, all one word. Do I have to spell out the whole thing?
It's part of the bit, I think, at this point.
For me to, because I don't want to spell out the word Tuesday, because people know how to spell the word Tuesday.
Oh, no, I don't think you have to say Tuesday. Most people know how to, if they passed first grade.
And then it's not apostrophe S. It is.
No, you put an apostrophe in there, Twitter will be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, they'll be like, no,
that's not a thing. Yeah. It's Tuesday is.
Yes.
Loser.
Is loser, not a loser.
And I'm going to explain it again.
You're going to explain it right now, right here at the end of the show.
Right at the end of the show. Okay, So back in the day, and this is a very new Sweetheartsy story.
Yeah.
We would go to a place called...
Are you ready?
Are you ready for this shit? We would go to a place called Furspo, which is FRSPOE.
Oh, yes.
And there's a song off of our first album called Tuesday is Loser at Furspo. And... So we would go to Furspo, and the reason why we came up with this Tuesday is Loser nonsense is that they had a sign that had the hours, and it said Monday 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then there was the ones with the little plastic numbers and letters you could remove from the sign. And So it said Monday 9 to 5, Tuesday. Some kid had mixed them up and went Loser. So Tuesday is Loser.
Tuesday is Loser.
At Furspo.
At Furspo.
And
you should get Furspo.com.
But Wednesday was also Wednesday is Penis.